Hello students, welcome to Purnang. So continuing with the questions of limits here. So let's solve this question. देखिए आप लोगों ने यदि try किया है तो बहुत अच्छी बात है और यदि नहीं try किया, if you haven't tried, so what I will suggest you here is, see, whenever you come across anything related to fractional part of x, what you can always do is you should go for the definition where we say that any real number can be written as its integral part plus its fractional part बच्चों. So from here I can write that fractional part of x is x minus greatest integer of x. So that's what I can say here. Okay, so now just put the value there everywhere, and yes, and moreover, since we are talking about first the limiting value as x approaches 0 from the negative side. Okay, so as x approaches 0 from the negative side, if we talk about fractional part of x, so which is x minus greatest integer of x, and as x belongs to minus 1 to 0, see, x is approaching 0 from the negative side, that means it is very close to 0 but it is negative, so it has to be between minus 1 to 0, like it's minus 0.000001, but its greatest integer in that case has to be 1. Minus 1, I'm sorry. So it will be x minus of minus 1 plus 1. So we can replace fractional or part of x by x plus 1 here. So what will I write? Okay, I will write cos inverse of 1 minus fractional part of x is x plus 1 here बच्चों, into sine inverse of 1 minus fractional part of x is 1 minus x plus 1 here, isn't that, upon under root of 2 times fractional part of x, which is 1 plus x, no big deal, and then again into a fractional 1 minus fractional part of x, so 1 minus x plus 1. Okay, now just try to solve it. Okay, so I think that's a done deal. Now you can easily do it. Simplify it. So cos inverse of 1 and 1 gets cancelled, minus x, and then sine inverse of 1 and 1 gets cancelled, minus x, and then this is root 2 times 1 plus x, and then this is minus x. Okay, as x approaches 0 from either side, sine inverse of t by t is 1, and we know sine inverse of minus t is minus sine inverse t, so I can remove this negative sign here. So I am repeating, since sine inverse of minus t is minus sine inverse t, it's an odd function, so I can take out negative sign and cancel with it, and then this is nothing but 1 bachcho. And as x approaches 0, cos inverse 0 is pi by 2, and here it's root 2, so the answer is pi by 2 root 2, so that's the left hand limit. Similarly, when we will approach for the right hand limit here. Now for right hand limit, again fractional part of x is x minus greatest integer x, and as x lie between 0 to 1, okay, so greatest integer has to be 0, so therefore you can replace fractional part of x by x, simply x. So now you can write it as cos inverse of 1 minus x into sine inverse of 1 minus x, and then upon root 2x, and then this is 1 minus x. Now see, as x approaches 0, where will this value going? See, we can remove those terms which appear as product with the expression within limit, but they are not contributing in any indeterminate form. Here it's 0 by 0 form, because as x approaches 0, cos inverse 1, which is 0, this is 0, but this is sine inverse 1, which is pi by 2, and this is 1. So what I mean to say here is, so if I continue here, limit x tends to 0 plus, I will remove this, because as x approaches 0, sine inverse 1 is pi by 2, and this is 1. Okay, so they are not contributing in 0 by 0 form here, so I will prefer to remove it, so I will write it as pi by 2 outside. Okay, so this is equal to pi by 2 times limit as x approaches 0 from the right side. This is simply cos inverse of 1 minus x by root 2x. Now, of course, this is 0 by 0 form, but then again, if I have to use the identity, I will convert cos inverse of 1 minus x to sine inverse. And how can we do it? Using our famous Pythagoras. How? See, cos इनवर्स ऑफ 1 माइनस एक्स को यदि हम p मान लें बच्चों, so I can write cos p as 1 minus x. I believe all of you agree, isn't that? Then from here I can write sin p as, so this is based upon hypotenuse और ये होता है अपोजिट साइड, तो हमें अपोजिट साइड चाहिए, तो यदि हम राइट एंगल ट्रायंगल कंप्लीट करें और ये एंगल हम p मान लें, so base is 1 minus x and hypotenuse is 1, so opposite side is going to be 1 minus x whole square whole within root and hypotenuse is 1. Okay, so p is nothing but sine inverse of what? 1 gets cancelled, it's 2x minus x square, that's it. So this is nothing but, so if I have to replace cos inverse in terms of sine inverse, this is also a p, so I can write it as sine inverse of 2x minus x square बच्चों, ये हो जाएगा. So it is simply, I can write here limit as x approaches 0 from the right side, and this is nothing but sine inverse of 2x minus x square over under root 2. Yeah, did I mention it there? Yeah, I forgot here also, I'm sorry बच्चों. Okay, so yeah, so it's root and this is upon root 2x. अब देखिए, why did I do it? Because again, I will be applying sine inverse t by t where t approaches 0, so that identity. So if I apply it here, so you can write it as limit as x approaches 0 from the right side, sine inverse of t by t root 2x into t, and t is root 2x minus x square. Again, sine inverse of t by t is 1. So now this is simply root 2x minus x square upon root 2x. Okay, so now you take this inside, so as x tends to 0 from the right side, root 2x आप ऊपर न्यूमरेटर में डिवाइड कर देंगे, तो ये हो जाएगा 1 minus x by 2, so which is nothing but, of course I missed it, we had pi by 2 also outside, so where shall I write? It's pi by 2, so this is equal to this and pi by 2. So this is 1, so the answer is pi by 2. So see, if someone asks you about the limiting value of this function, if someone asks you whether limit of f of x as x tends to 0 exists or not, so answer is doesn't exist. Why? Because the LHL we got is pi by 2 root 2, RHL we got is pi by 2. So that was another question on limit based on 0 by 0 form. Interesting though, because of the use of fractional part of x. And see, this is how you can always use fractional part of x, be it of integer, I mean be it a question of integration, be it a question of limit, differentiation, in trigonometry, in coordinate geometry, wherever. You start with this definition, simple, and then we know how to take care of greatest integer function within two consecutive integers, and then we can use it everywhere. It will help you to get rid of fractional part notation, and then you can easily approach the question बच्चों.